So, yes, today is yet another idle incremental day. Um, but to be fair, I've been playing the Rusty Lake games, and I needed something with a little bit of color and life to tone down the dreary, eerie depression that those games were permeated with. So I was quite pleased to have found Project Chromata. It's a very sweet idle incremental game. Very, very, very good looking, very expansive, with a few issues that bug me about it. Not really issues, a few decisions that have been made, probably for good reason, but that bug me about it. So we'll jump in. We'll have a look at some gameplay, and yeah, let's jump in and have a look at it. So here is what is considered a tutorial, I suppose. Welcome to Project Chromata. You are the Chroma engine, a dormant world computer of unimaginable scale. Your directive: execute Project Chromata. The universe around you is a silent, starless void. You must create color to bring back the light. So, lofty goals. I like it. Pips are your primary resource for production. You start with 5. That's our pip display. It'll be up in the corner there. Click the plus button to assign a pip and start producing essence. You allocate pips to chroma wells. So yes. And then we purchase upgrades. So we have an upgrade menu. It'll list the upgrades. We just click on them when we have what we need to buy them. And yep, that's it. That's the end of the tutorial. So we're going to do a little bit better than that. We have 3 color wells to start off with. We have red, yellow, and blue. And when I said things bug me, it's because I'm kind of lean more on the physics side of things, and I know that the primary colors are red, green, and blue. Um, but these are kind of the primary. I suppose you could call them, for want of a better word, paint colors rather than light colors. In terms of mixing paint, you get colors by mixing these, whereas in physics, all light are made up by points along the spectrum and how the eye receives them, and red and blue are the opposite ends of the color spectrum, and green is sitting in the middle. Yeah, and it's a very silly thing to be bugged about, but it bothers me very slightly. Anyway, my fussing aside, we now have 5 pips, and we want to start producing these 3 colors. And as you can see here, we have upgrades that we haven't got there yet that need 50 red and 50 yellow, or 100 red, or an even number of red, yellow, and blue. So let's put, since we don't have pips that will divide equally, let's put 2 into red, 2 into yellow, and 1 into blue. And yeah, once we have assigned the pips, you can see the colors start filling the tank of the color well, and it starts growing. Now, the second thing that bugs me is the absolute lack of sound. It would be lovely if there was some kind of relaxing music or the like in this game, but unfortunately, we don't have that. We just have silence. I suppose we are supposed to be in the void trying to bring color back to the universe, but yeah, we have no silence. So we got enough red and we got enough yellow to unlock the orange mixer. I clicked on that, we've unlocked it. The amount was taken from our tanks, but we are building it up. Now, as you might be able to see here, orange is red and yellow mixed, um, which is okay. We have another upgrade: 400 max essence to all tanks. Let's upgrade that so we have capacity to store our color. Yeah, so we are increasing red at plus 2 a second because we have 2 pips, and increasing yellow is plus 2 a second. But if we increase orange to 1 pip, it will be then taking 1 a second from red and yellow, because it needs to feed from those tanks into this tank. So this will drop down, and you can actually get into the negative here, where it's drawing it faster than it can make it, and this will just like sit in 0, and that will slow down the count of this. So you need to make sure that these have more pips than the ones downstream from them. Oh, and we have plus 5 max pips, so we can boost yellow, and we can see we drop down to negative 1.2 actually. So yeah, so let's increase the pip there just to make sure that we are even up here. And now we only have 3 pips left. So I am planning on going 1, 2, and 3. So now we are behind on the blue again as well, but we are making orange a little quicker and maintaining our rate with these ones. +3 and -2.5. So we're just going up at about 0.5 at these two. Whereas blue is cruising along at +2, except that we can now unlock the green mixer, which means that yellow now has potentially double the strain on him, because he is feeding both green and orange. So yeah. Anyway, we will need to wait until we get some things. Oh, we have 100 orange, so we have 10 more pips, which is nice. So we can even those out there. Let's boost all of them along here, and let's pop green up there. So you can see now yellow is actually in the negative, so let's give yellow a few more. But we do eventually get a third one here, so it will balance out again for those of you who, like me, are a little bit OCD about that kind of thing. We have in fact dropped yellow out again, so let's slow those down. Let's just boost yellow, give them all the way up to 8 until we unlock the other one. Oh, ×2 primary production. So these guys will now speed up quite a bit, and we can unlock the purple so that everybody can be balanced out again. So let's drop you down to 7. Should we pop you up? Are you going to make it difficult? Alright, so we still have positive flows in all of those, and we've got a little bit coming in here. Oh, and we've got 10 pips, so because we boosted the yellow up, and another 10 pips because we boosted the blue up. So let's just get these guys up to 7, and you up to 2. What are we looking at here? +14 -5, so we can definitely increase you guys up a bit. And another row of 3 here, because we're looking good back here. So +14 -10. Oh, and then green has given us some pips. So let's jump you all up to 8, and we can jump you guys up to 5, and we are looking good. Yes, and so there are prestige. There's a prestige tree, and there's a stats tree. We can have a look at how our stats are going here, but we don't need to look at that now. Then there's null. Null's quite nice because if you're off screen, it counts kind of the lack of activity and sort of gives you null in response to that. Obviously remembers when you were last looking at the screen. So this is basically your offline increase, and you get all these null essences, and then you can spend them on the time warp to speed everything up if you want. I really like that. I've seen that in a few incremental games, variants of this idea, but it's basically yes, you have to be offline. Your game can continue kind of in the background, metaphorically speaking, and you can see that boost when you come back into the game and play it again. Right, now we have lots of upgrades, but let's spend our pips, shall we? 999. Alright, so what can we unlock here? We can unlock mixer efficiency, which should give us better mixing rates, I suppose. So even when these are basically it makes it more efficient, so that you don't have to have as much of a disparity of the pips between your primary productions and your mixer productions. At least that's how I sort of interpreted it. 200 purple for 10 max pips, orange and blue for some more pips, green and red for some more pips. Do we have anything yellow? Purple and yellow for some more pips. Alright, so we've taken quite a few of them down there. Let's put a couple of pips into each of these. We have quite a gap here, so let's put these up one more. Yeah, so we just have one pip between them, and we're getting there pretty well. Have another 10 pips there. I like balancing them out, getting sort of the evenness between them. I have a pretty good rate going now. Everything is almost full because I've been talking rather than doing it. We'll have a look at the procedure when we get there, once we're able to unlock the next stage of the game. So don't worry about it too much now. We can unlock some more mixers. 1, 2. All right, and we killed our. There we go. 3. So we've killed all our incomes there. So let's pop one of these up. And we can do that again actually, because we are flowing pretty well there. There is an advantage to taking time to talk about things. Can actually put these up one more notch because we are doing really well with the way we've managed to get these maxed out. Plus 500 max essence, so we can make the tanks bigger everywhere. We can get more essence up. I suppose we could be playing this a little more sort of finely, a little more closer to the nose, and actually be emptying the tanks out and running in negatives in certain places to make the later tanks mix even faster. But there isn't really a time limit unless you're playing against the time stats. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about playing that heavily. But yeah, if you are like a speed freak, if you're trying to max it out, that is an idea. We can get some more pips there. Let's pop one each into those, one each into those. Sitting fairly close there, and we can put 2 each into these quite safely. We've got no negatives anywhere. Oh, 250 sign, another 10 pips. How many do you have? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boost all those up. Right, and now there's a white convergence is where we are going. It's where the game is really going to change. And we're going to unlock that and do a prestige restart. And then I will stop playing. And I think you guys can come and play it. The link will be in the description. And I will say now, once we hit the right convergence, that'll be all the gameplay I'm really showing. So if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Because that boosts engagement, which is good for me because it helps my channel out, and it's good for you because it teaches YouTube about what kind of videos you want to watch, and it trains your YouTube algorithm. Everybody wants a nice, well-trained YouTube algorithm. Yeah, so I mean, if you do that, I would appreciate it. But until that point, we are just going to finish this off. I'm just maxing out all the numbers here. And we're trying to get up to 1,000 with these lads. What are we doing here? If I give you guys another layer of pips. Okay, so you are sitting at minus 16 to plus 18 across these. And we have 9 pips, so we can in fact evenly max them out. And we're going about as fast as we can go, I think. I mean, I could speed it up a little bit. If I drop you down 1 and then boost you up 1. Alright, well, yeah, I have fine-tuned it a little bit. I feel like I was playing Factorio there for a moment. All these feeds and colors and things like that. Factorio is a lovely game. I do recommend it if you guys are ever looking for a game to play long term. With all the DLCs, it is a little pricey, but yeah, no, it's well worth it. It is a good game for an indie game. It's one of the best. All right, we have 1,000 there, 1,000 there, and we're about to have 1,000 there, and we can unlock the white convergence. But now missing pips because we need to get the white going. So we might actually have to, if I slow you down a little bit, you guys are still sitting up there. We boost that up, and I can actually slow you down a little bit. Boost that up. I mean, we're looking good here. Can I actually slow you down a bit as well? Alright. Alright, well, I think I've maxed that out as much as I can without crossing anyone into a negative. Yeah. So we are trying to get to 1,000 white, and then we can do a convergence, which will reset everything, and yeah, we will get access to a separate upgrade tree in the popular style of games like this. Yeah, which I really like. I like the sort of second layer of upgrades that you get in the sort of newer incremental things. I like this prestige system. I love the reset. I think it's the roguelite, the game mechanic, as it were, and I like it a lot. And cha-ching, we are up to 1,000, and we can converge. Yes, we wish to converge, and we get. Okay, well, let's read this. First light. A singularity of pure creation erupts from your core. The energy is not heat nor sound, but potential itself. A single brilliant flash that pushes back against the absolute nothingness of the void. For the first time in forgotten eons, the universe is not entirely dark. The oppressive non-existence recoils. Where there was once a seamless silent black, a fracture appears, cracking like obsidian glass. Beneath it, a new subsystem activates within your matrix, a vast faded map, a ghost of the cosmos that once was. The memory of stars, long extinguished, awaits rekindling. Primary directive updated, restore the constellations. Purpose clarifies, the light you generate is not merely a byproduct, it is ammunition. It is the energy required to rewrite the silence and bring memory back to the universe. Convergence complete. You have unlocked the star chart. Spend your new light to gain powerful permanent bonuses. So here we have the star chart. Welcome to the star chart. This is where you spend light to unlock permanent upgrades. Click on the star to see its details and purchase it. Affordable stars will pulse like this. Continue. So we can purchase the prism. Can we purchase the prism? Yes, we can acquire data. So does this mean we now have the prism? Data acquired, or primary production is doubled. But over here, light resonance. Unlock the first spark of resonance, channeling stored non-white essences into a faint glow of light. So does that mean we can gain extra light from our other colors? I'm not sure. But yeah, so we go back to production, and we start again with trying to boost through the same initial tree of unlocking, but we are building a lot faster in theory because of our star chart upgrade. So we're getting there a bit quicker. We need to get our extra pips. See, I'm pretty sure it was +2, but now it is +4. So we can, in theory, increase our lower ranks a little bit faster. And I wonder if we unlock more. We have a codex, which just gives us the same text that we had before. I wonder if we can now increase our tanks further, because we hit the cap of 1,000 once we got down to the light. for the convergence. I don't know. Was that a hard cap? Alright. We can unlock the green mixer, put a point in there. So we were able to sink more pips there. Oh dear, we do have orange going backwards. We need more pips. Come on, yellow, give us those pips. Oh, it's 150. Ah, we got it from 100 orange. Poor old orange being beaten up on. We've got purple here. We need more pips. Alright, anyway, that is the end of the gameplay. I think you can see where this is going. We have the star chart, which will be our significant upgrades that stay permanent between the convergences. We have to keep hitting the 1000 white to create light, and that is the nature of the progression. I think is a pretty good game. There might be other stuff hidden below the scenes, hidden behind closed corridors and things like that we haven't unlocked yet. But I will leave that for you guys to discover. That's all the gameplay. Thank you for watching. Don't forget the link is in the description. Do the necessary engagements to show me that you guys are out there and listening to me. I hugely appreciate it every time I see a bit of a response. So thank you very much to those who have responded. You guys have warmed my life. And to the rest of you, I would love to hear from you. But either way, I thank you very much for watching. So if you're here for the gameplay and you're leaving, thank you. I will see you in the next video, I hope. And don't forget the Rusty Lake videos. I've started those, and those are actually quite enjoyable, and I think they're going to get more and more interesting as we get further into the complexities of the Rusty Lake universe. That's the Cube Escape videos, in case you don't know at all about Rusty Lake. So, critiques. Like I said, the first critique I have is that these are paint primaries and not light primaries. For example, we unlock magenta. Magenta isn't really a color as we understand it. It isn't a point along the light spectrum. It's a combination of the, sort of the bottom of the red and the top of the blue, with sufficient brightness behind them, and then our eyes interpret that as a new color, which is magenta. It's weird. It blew my mind when I first discovered that, but it makes perfect sense, because you have kind of two layers of colors. You have the actual frequency, the wavelength of the photons that are being emitted, and that is we interpret those as light in a certain point of the spectrum. But there's photons that are have slower frequencies than red, and we can't actually see those, and photons that have higher frequencies than blue, and we can't see those. And that's where your sort of infrared and what would you call it, ultra blue, where those kind of lights come from, and we can see the effects of them, but we can't see the colors themselves, or we see them as a very spooky, sort of very dull red or very vibrant blue color that we like to see in raves. But you have to make sure you get the right kinds, because it gets increasingly dangerous as you go further up the blue wavelength. And those are the actual kind of that's what light color actually is. That's the fundamental mechanism of light, is that point along the frequency that defines what we think of as color. And then you have colors that I kind of call them paint colors, but colors that we see because our eyes react to these photons of different frequencies in different ways. We see something as red because it stimulates a certain part of our eye that is trained to react to red. We see something as blue is because it stimulates our eye in a different way, and that's why we can see blue. And that's why you have people who have limited color blindness, because they don't have the working part of their eye that can see that particular frequency of light. We just interpret it as a sort of a shade of grey, but our brain learns how to go, well, that's that's red or something actually, even though we just see it as grey. Um, but and that's where the sort of the second layer, what I might think of as layer for how we interpret light, comes in, because we, light is something that we interpret. We see something, because parts of our eyes are stimulated, and then our brain transfers that stimulation into our understanding of what a color is and how we see color. And that's why we can see the yellows and the magentas and things like that, because our brain has gone, okay, this kind of cell in our eye is being stimulated, and this kind of cell in our eye is being stimulated, so that thing over there is clearly this color. And that's, yeah, so there's two different kinds of colors. That's why there's two different types. There's the actual color that is the frequency of the photon, and then there's the color that is the way our brain interprets that collection of photon frequencies. And as a sort of a bit of a physics nerd, I prefer the first kind. So I would prefer this was red, green, and blue, like our monitor. But in terms of the kind of the metaphysics of the universe, rather than the literal physics of the universe, red, yellow, and blue does make more sense. Although I will say, as a personal judgment, I find it less vibrant. I think red, green, and blue makes for a broader kind of color spectrum when placed together. I find it more colorful, more interesting. So I preferred if the green was a slightly darker green, was up here in between these. These are almost pastely colors. They're kind of washed out a bit in the way that I interpret them. Of course, that could just be my monitor washing them out a bit. Maybe they are more vibrant for you if you have different monitor settings. But anyway, it's not really a critique. It's just my opinion, my statement on how they have designed the game. And it's interesting to me that this is how they have done it, because there are kind of two interpretations of the way that they are rebuilding the universe here. They're not just bringing light back. They're bringing, as they said in the prestige text, they're bringing memory back. They're bringing life back. That's kind of metaphysical rather than just physical. So yeah, it's an interesting question. It's an interesting thought on how they have designed their pyramid here, their mixes, their colors, and why, and how do you feel about having that metaphysical being rolled in over and above just the physical? It's kind of like Terry Pratchett says, does the sun rise, or does the planet just get illuminated by a fusion reaction of plasma? Anyway, that is enough rabbiting about that. Game critiques. Firstly, the UI is fine. It's very, very good looking. You have nice glowy buttons. It kind of references that sort of computer system that we are supposed to be, the mega world computer. I like that. I like the designs. I like the layout. I think everything is very well organized. I think the tutorial was terrible. Could do with a little bit more tutorial, because as I've said in many of my videos, don't forget that people who have never touched a game before might be coming to find this, because it's very easy for them to find the link, and 2 clicks and they're trying to play this game. And we need to roll out the red carpet for non-gamers who are trying to play games, so that they enjoy themselves and they become gamers, because gaming is important. It's a form of entertainment that's interactive, that stimulates the senses, stimulates the brain, and we kind of need more of it. And we need more indie games to be supported as the entry point to gaming. And yeah, so make sure that your tutorials are as friendly as possible, because when a non-gamer comes in, you really want to hold them by the hand and go, come in and play this, have a good time, have an enjoyable time, enjoy this experience, and then you're more likely to come back the next time. So really hold their hand till they find their feet. So tutorials are important. They're a vital stage in gaming, and especially in indie games that are easy to get into. So yeah, I would love to see more tutorial in a game like this. But having said that, for sort of basic normal use, the tutorial was fine, and I like the UI and I like the designs. Now, my biggest critique, actual real critique, is the lack of sound. I think this really needs a good soundtrack. It really needs a good um, set of beeps and bloops and things like that. Nice, chunky, viscerally satisfying noises, because we are a world computer that is rebuilding the universe. Make it sound impressive. Um, just for ourselves, just for the interaction. Don't make a silent game. And I know that is difficult to do. Let's have a look at the credits. Um, okay, I think these are people who have bought into it through a starter of some sort. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, these aren't development credits. These are sponsor credits. Which, I mean, fair enough. That's fine. That's lovely. Well, let's have a look at the settings. We have confirm convergence and help codecs. We have some graphics settings, which everything is on. Oh, FPS counter, nice. And we can change the text scale. So these are very, very good visual settings. There are obviously no sound settings because there's no sounds, and we can save and we can hard reset the game. There's our FPS counter. Very, very nice. It's version 1.4. Sounds are vital. This is a game that has been around for a while and is doing well. It really needs sounds. Let's have a look, see if we can see. Okay, the dev house is like Games Eternal with the Z. A little cringy, but not too bad. There's a Steam version. There's a Discord server. Where does this go to? Ko-fi. I must get a Ko-fi set up as well. Right. So there's a lot of comments. This game has been around for a while. Does it say when it was first released? Where's the more information? There it is. No, it doesn't. And it doesn't say what the engine is either. Anyway, it is good. It is good from that perspective. So we're talking about the art. The art now. The art is absolutely fine. I like the way it looks. I've said my bit about the colors. I think the art is fine. The art is entirely as it should be. I don't know. Maybe you could put like a little shimmer or something around these. It's got the little circly bit. I actually quite liked it when I first started playing. I wasn't generating red and yellow enough when I got the orange, because I increased the orange too far, and these pipes were actually shimmering. They were like flashing on and off to say that here was some feed, and I didn't have enough, so no feed, and here was some feed. And I quite liked the sort of the shimmer, so that might be something worth considering, is giving these like a little ripple or a shimmer or some kind of effect. I'm assuming they're trying to keep the FPS up for the numbers that are rolling through here, but just adding some visual effects might be nice. I don't know. I mean, it is pretty solid, pretty enjoyably playable as it is now. But again, we're a world computer trying to rebuild the universe. Give it some pizzazz. Gameplay is fine. It is a perfectly good, quite enjoyable, idle incremental. I liked the little way of having to balance the upgrades. I found that quite interesting, where you could upgrade something too far because it was affecting these ones, and you had to kind of make sure that these were higher, or at least be in a position where you can tolerate the drain on the tanks and all of that kind of stuff. I found the gameplay very, very interesting, enjoyable, and comfortable. So full marks there. The immersion, it's got a good storyline behind it. I think the only thing that I don't see in the immersion is kind of more reference to who we are, more idea of who we are, what we are. I don't know if we could see a little bit more trim around the corners to say that yes, we are a mega world computer thing doing stuff here. We kind of sort of have it in the way the UI is designed, but I don't think that's quite enough. I think like in the background here, have something like the Matrix scrolling text and things like that, just to go, yes, we are this thinking machine with these powers that's brilliant people have tucked away in a little corner of between the universes somewhere. And here, from this space between time and place, we are rebuilding the universe, and course, if we are rebuilding the universe, what are these white dots in the background? I don't know. But I think a little bit of trim could be done there, but it's nowhere near as important as the sounds. This game needs sound. That is my strongest critique. And that's all the critique I'm giving. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to throw me a like. And I would very much like it if you guys would, in fact, see me in the next video. And thank you for watching this one. And don't forget the Rusty Lake ones as well. I'd love to see those appreciated more. It is a very, very good series of games that I'm hoping people will enjoy watching me play. And I complete the games. They aren't just like showcases like this. It's actually me completing the games. At least that's the intention. We shall see how well I do. Those games are not easy. And thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next video, I hope. And goodbye.